I love being creative and doing all the homemaking things. And as I've said in previous videos, it is just that much better this time of year. I feel like there's always a creative project to do, and I actually almost have the opposite problem of there being too much to do versus being bored. And as pregnant as I am, we are getting closer and closer. I still have to discipline myself to rest as well. But today we are going to be making some salt dough ornaments and doing some Christmas baking for a little tradition that we just started this year with our family that I will tell you a little bit more about later on. So for the salt dough ornaments, I just look up a basic recipe. All of them are relatively the same. Sometimes there's a few differences in measurements, but just find a basic recipe, one that you want to do. You can do regular, just white ones, or you can do cinnamon. I was going to do cinnamon this year because I did white ones the last time I did these, and then I just didn't want to buy that much cinnamon. So I just buy regular flour. This is like $2 for this whole thing at Aldi. I buy regular iodized salt, buy that at Target, Aldi, wherever you are, you can get it for really cheap. And I just label them for salt dough ornaments because I think I want to make this a tradition in and of itself. So this year I got some of these molds. I talked about them in a recent video and I will link them below. But I wanted to make the ornaments prettier, I guess. And maybe they'll get prettier as I get better at this anyway without the mold. But I wanted something prettier, and these were still really challenging to work with, but I think I like how they turned out. So I got a floral one and a reindeer one, and yeah, they were really challenging to work with at first, but then I kind of figured it out. Putting flour in them, how to put the dough in there, and then kind of how to tap it out so it would come out nicely without me having to pick at it. And then later on you'll see we added some ribbon to these as well so that they can hang up on people's trees. Okay, we completed our thrifting for gifts, so I got a couple things extra as well just because they had some good stuff. But this is a basket. I am making a second basket wall collage. So I'll add this one to it. It's a little bit different than anything else I have for a wall collage. This one was at $2.99, which I actually think is $1 more than it's probably worth, but it was unique. I don't have anything quite like that. Then I found this, which I thought was so precious and adorable. This was $3.99. which this particular thrift store always has a little bit higher prices, so I don't frequent this one as much, but I was looking for a couple frames and I found them, so I'm so glad that I went, but this is why I don't usually go. So this was $3.99, really pretty on our mantle, and then seasonally I could change out like florals. I don't know, I'm not exactly sure, but I just love the scallop detailing. I think it's so pretty. And then I grabbed a couple of smaller baskets just because they were in really good shape. This was $1.99 and $2.99. And I thought toy storage, or like this one's small enough, you know, you could use it for something in the bathroom or something. I'm not really sure. I'm just always collecting little baskets like this because they look so pretty when you use them for storage. And then everything just kind of ends up going in like the same aesthetic without being exactly the same. So I love both of these. This one has some cute little handles. So I'm excited to figure out where we'll use these. This one, I'm kind of thinking toy storage. Like I feel like cars would be really cute in here. This one's a little smaller, so I'm not totally sure, but it's really cute. And then I found my last two frames. So I'm not going to show these as a final product because I'm going to be putting family pictures in them and giving them to grandparents. But I wanted to include it because that's a great gift idea. You can thrift frames, you can paint them, make them pretty, make them your own, or make them suit the person that you're giving them to. But I'll show you the frames since I don't have the photos in there yet. So I love doing this. This first one was $1.99, and I'm thinking I'll just leave it as is It's silver and gold, has a little bit of detailing. It can hang or sit. So I like that one. What, baby?
For you?
I'm almost done. This is the last one. This one, I normally would not pick something like this, but they had a few of them, and they were only $1.99 as well. I just thought it was cute. I am thinking for my mother-in-law that she would like this. I am also not sure if I'm going to leave it white. I might paint it. It's just like a metal, so I feel like it'd be pretty easy to paint it to kind of match her house, although the white already matches anyway. Okay, that fell out, but I'll put it back in. So the actual picture is going to be a heart. It's very small, but I just thought it was so intricate and cute. And then I'll put a picture of my husband and my son in there together. So I thought she would really like that, and I just think it's, I don't know, it's like dainty and cute. It's not something that I normally would have picked out, but for some reason I just felt like it was fitting for this year. So that was $1.99. Here is the ribbon. We have two different ones. I got this blue plaid one and a green plaid one, both from Hobby Lobby. I happened to be there when their Christmas stuff was 50% off, which is what I think the actual prices should be anyway. Whenever I go to Hobby Lobby, I always feel like they have so much that's half off, and I'm like, this is what this is actually worth. Maybe even not quite that much. So I try to shop there when they're having sales like that, because then I feel like the prices are, yeah, just so much better. So for the floral ones, we did blue. Those are going to the grandmas, and then we will also keep some of these too for our tree. And then for the reindeer, we did the green plaid, and they just turned out really pretty. All I did was write the year on the back, and like I said, I'm thinking I kind of want to make this a yearly tradition, because I don't really know how long salto ornaments will actually last, being as they are technically food. So I don't know. I came across one in our basement that I had made, and it was starting to disintegrate, but the other ones that I have made haven't done that yet. So I'm not really sure. But if it's like a yearly tradition and people are able to leave it up, you know, for a year or two, it's something that they can look forward to. They'll know that they'll get a different one every year. I think it would be kind of fun. So speaking of traditions, we just started a new one in our family this year. Growing up, my family would always watch The Grinch. Not necessarily as a tradition, we would just watch it through the Christmas season. And we always liked The Grinch story and the old-fashioned movie, the original one that's like, it's like 25 or 30 minutes long, the cartoon. And my son really likes The Grinch story. We read it, and I kind of tie it into, even though I know it's like a secular story, I kind of tie it into a conversion story. My dad told me that it's actually based upon A Christmas Carol, so Ebenezer Scrooge, which is a conversion story. So I kind of tie it in that way, even though I know it's technically not. But that's just a way to pull everything together if you have the desire to do that, like I do. And so anyway, we are starting a tradition. We only have one grandchild on my side so far, but this is something that we're doing on my side. So once I have two, then there will be two. Hopefully my siblings will have babies, and it will just grow over the years. But we are calling it the Grinch Feast. And we had our family over. We ate dinner together. We ate these sourdough sugar cookies. And we were going to do hot chocolate, but I was too tired to do it. So we just had dinner, cookies, and then we watched the original Grinch. So I'm hoping that over the years it will kind of evolve into something really fun for the kids. I don't know what exactly it will look like. Maybe people will all bring something. Maybe there's a certain dessert or something that we'll end up kind of falling into making every year. I'm not entirely sure. It was the first one. So it was really fun though, and like I said, just hoping that it turns into something festive and fun for the kids and the family to look forward to. But this recipe is the Farmhouse on Boone sourdough sugar cookies, but I did whole grain, freshly milled flour. So I did 3.5 cups of soft white wheat berries, and then I did 1 cup of all-purpose, just because I thought, well, maybe it'll be a little more normal having a little bit of all-purpose in there, because I know when you start to eat whole grains, it's definitely different. Eating something sweet like cookies helps, like you don't really tell as much because of the sugar, but it still is different. So I did 1 cup, but these were so good that I don't even know if I needed to do 1 cup. I think I'm going to make another batch and just do all whole grains, because that makes it, you know, it's still a sugary treat, but there's actually nutrients present for your body in the whole grains, and so I really like that. I also whipped up a frosting. I just did heavy cream, whipped it in the mixer. I did about a cup, because I looked it up on Google and it said 1 cup would yield about 2 cups of frosting, and I didn't really want more than that. So I did about a cup of heavy cream, and then I added the powdered sugar that I had left, which I didn't even measure. I think it was maybe a half cup. It seriously wasn't even that much. And then a splash of vanilla, and I tasted it, and it was nice and fluffy, not overpowering in sugar. And then I just put it on. So definitely as a homemaker, don't feel like you have to make everything perfect. Everybody devoured these cookies, even though the frosting was not as beautiful as I would have liked. It was delicious. The beauty can come later as I continue to work on the actual skills of baking and cooking. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in my next one.